He watched the security footage 3 times before he believed it. A woman, stealing bread, from his restaurant. But it wasn't the theft that stopped his heart. It was her face. The face he'd spent 6 years trying to forget. She was supposed to be gone, vanished, safe from his world. Instead, she was starving. And when he followed her to that crumbling apartment, when he saw those 2 small faces staring back at him with eyes identical to his own, everything he'd built, everything he'd become, shattered. Because the most dangerous man in the city just discovered he's a father, and no empire in the world can prepare you for that. The footage was black and white, grainy, time-stamped 2:47 p.m. Marcus Kane didn't need color to recognize desperation. The woman moved through his upscale restaurant like a ghost, head down, shoulders tight, hands trembling as they slipped 2 loaves of bread into a worn canvas bag. She didn't look at the cameras, didn't check over her shoulder. Just took what she needed and disappeared into the afternoon crowd. Amateur theft, clumsy, almost insulting. "Sir?" His head of security shifted uncomfortably. "Should I send someone to—" "No." Marcus leaned forward, his jaw tight, fingers drumming against the mahogany desk. Rewind, play, pause. That profile, that walk. It couldn't be. "Pull up the street cameras," he ordered. "I want to know where she went." 20 minutes later, he was standing outside a building that shouldn't exist in his city, a relic of urban decay wedged between new construction, its brick facade crumbling, windows covered in cardboard and tape. He didn't knock. The door wasn't locked. Inside, the hallway smelled of mildew and forgotten lives, peeling wallpaper, flickering lights, the kind of place people ended up when the world stopped caring. Apartment 3B. The number hung crooked on a door that had been kicked in and poorly repaired. Marcus raised his fist. The door opened, and time stopped. She was thinner, hollow-cheeked. Her once bright eyes now shadowed by exhaustion and something darker. Resignation, maybe. Defeat. But it was her. Lena. For a moment, neither of them spoke. She just stared at him, bread still clutched in her hands, lips parted in shock. "Marcus." His name on her lips felt like a wound reopening. "You're stealing from me now?" His voice came out colder than he intended. She flinched. "I didn't know it was yours." "Does it matter?" Her chin lifted. There, that flash of the woman he remembered. "I would have starved either way." Before he could respond, a small voice called from inside the apartment. "Mama, who is it?" Marcus froze. Lena's face went pale. "No one, baby. Just give Mama a minute." But the door swung wider, and 2 small figures appeared in the dim hallway light. Twin boys, identical, maybe 5 years old. Dark curls, sharp cheekbones, eyes the precise shade of storm gray that Marcus saw in the mirror every morning. His heart stopped, then restarted with a violence that stole his breath. "Lena." His voice cracked. "What?" "Not here." Her hand shot out, gripping his wrist with surprising strength. "Please, not in front of them." She pulled him inside, shut the door, and turned to the boys with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Go play in your room, okay? Mama needs to talk to this man for a minute." "Is he the bad man?" one of them whispered. Marcus felt the words like a knife. "No, sweetheart, he's old friend. Go on." They hesitated, then vanished into the shadows. The apartment was 1 room, maybe 2 if you counted the closet-sized bedroom. A hot plate, a single mattress on the floor, clothes folded in plastic bins. Toys that had been loved past their breaking point. This was where his children lived. His children. How long? His voice was barely audible. Lena wrapped her arms around herself. 5 years, 3 months, 12 days. "You never told me." "You were building an empire, Marcus. I was pregnant and broke. What was I supposed to do? Raise our sons in your world of blood and violence? So you chose this?" He gestured at the peeling walls, the broken window patched with cardboard. Her laugh was bitter. I chose survival. I chose to keep them safe from the monsters you call allies. I'm not. You're exactly what I ran from. The words hung between them like smoke. Marcus stepped closer. She didn't back away. Their names. Elijah and Isaiah. You gave them my last name? No, they have mine. They don't need your legacy of fear. His hands clenched. They're my sons. They're children who deserve better than what you can offer. What I can offer. His voice rose. Look around, Lena. I can offer them everything. School, safety, a future that doesn't involve stealing bread. At what cost? Her eyes blazed. You think I don't know what you've become? The Kane family doesn't raise children. It creates soldiers. That's not, isn't it? Silence fell, heavy and suffocating. From the other room came the sound of childish laughter, pure and untouched by the darkness pressing against the walls. Marcus closed his eyes. When he opened them, Lena was watching him with something that might have been pity. Leave, she whispered. Please. Before they ask questions, I can't answer. I'm not leaving. You don't have a choice. I'm their father. You're a stranger. Her voice broke. And that's how it has to stay. Marcus pulled an envelope from his jacket, thick, heavy with cash. He set it on the counter. For them, not you, them. Lena stared at the money like it might burn her. I don't want your blood money. It's not about what you want anymore. He turned toward the door, then stopped. I'll be back tomorrow, and the day after, and every day until you stop treating me like the enemy. You are the enemy, Marcus. You always were. He looked at her one last time, the woman he'd loved, the mother of his children, now a ghost of who she'd been. Then I'll be the enemy who keeps you alive. The door closed behind him. In the hallway, Marcus leaned against the wall, his hands shaking. He was a father, and he had no idea how to be anything but a king. Marcus didn't sleep that night. He sat in his penthouse office, the city sprawling beneath him like a kingdom he no longer recognized, and tried to reconcile two impossible truths. He was a father, and his sons were starving in a slum. At 6 a.m., his second-in-command, Vincent, knocked on the door. Boss, you okay? You've been in here all night. Marcus didn't turn from the window. How much do I have in liquid assets? Vincent blinked. A couple million, depending on what you're... Transfer 200,000 into an account. Anonymous. Untraceable. For what? That's not your concern. Vincent hesitated. Marcus Kane didn't explain himself. Ever. This was new. Done by noon, Vincent said carefully. Anything else? Find me the best private school in the city. Elementary level. And a pediatrician. Discreet. Now Vincent looked genuinely confused. Boss? You planning on adopting or something? Marcus finally turned. The look in his eyes made Vincent take a step back. If anyone asks about this conversation, Marcus said softly, you never heard it. Understood? Crystal clear, boss. By 8 a.m., Marcus was standing outside Lena's building again. This time, he brought groceries. Real ones. Fresh vegetables, milk, eggs, bread from the bakery 3 blocks over, not the stale loaves she'd stolen from his restaurant. He climbed the stairs slowly, rehearsing words that felt foreign on his tongue. I want to help. I want to be there. I want to... The door was already open. Inside, Lena was sitting on the floor with the twins, building a tower out of mismatched blocks. Sunlight filtered through the broken window, catching the dust motes in the air, and for a moment, the scene looked almost peaceful. Then she saw him. The peace shattered. What are you doing here? I brought food. I told you. Who's he, Mama? One of the boys, Elijah maybe, stood up, eyes wide and curious. Lena's jaw tightened. No one, baby. He doesn't look like no one, the other twin said. Smart kids. Marcus crouched down, meeting them at eye level. Up close, the resemblance was undeniable. The shape of their faces, the stubborn set of their jaws, even the way they tilted their heads when confused. His heart ached in a way he didn't know was possible. "My name's Marcus," he said gently. "I'm a friend of your mom's." "You look fancy," Elijah observed. "Are you rich?" "Elijah," Lena snapped. "That's rude." "It's okay." Marcus smiled, a real one, rare and unguarded. "Yeah, kid, I'm doing all right." "Can you help Mama?" Isaiah asked. "She cries at night when she thinks we're sleeping." Lena's face crumpled. Marcus felt something crack inside his chest. "Yeah," he said quietly. "I'm going to try." Lena sent the boys to play in the bedroom, then rounded on him. "You can't just show up here and I'm not here to take them from you." That stopped her mid-sentence. "Then why?" Marcus set the groceries on the counter. "Because they're mine. And you were everything to me once." That was a lifetime ago. 6 years. Not a lifetime. In your world, it might as well be a century. She was right. 6 years ago, Marcus had been a mid-level enforcer, ambitious but not yet feared. Now he controlled half the city's underground operations. Imports, exports, protection, influence. He'd built an empire on ruthlessness and strategy. And somewhere in that climb, he'd lost her. "I didn't know," he said. "If I'd known you were pregnant, you would have what? Left your empire? Given up your crown?" Lena laughed bitterly. "We both know that's not who you are." "You don't know who I am anymore." "Don't I?" She stepped closer, eyes blazing. "Tell me, Marcus, how many people have you hurt to get where you are? How many lives have you destroyed?" He didn't answer, couldn't. "That's what I thought." She turned away. "I won't let my sons grow up thinking that power is worth more than compassion. That fear is the same as respect." "I never said—" "You don't have to say it. You live it." Marcus clenched his fists. "What do you want from me, Lena? You want me to walk away? Pretend they don't exist?" "I want you to be honest. Can you give them a life that doesn't involve looking over your shoulder? Can you promise me they won't become targets because they share your blood?" Silence. Because they both knew the answer. "That's what I thought," Lena whispered. From the bedroom, one of the twins called out, "Mama, can the fancy man stay for lunch?" Lena closed her eyes. Marcus felt his throat tighten. "Let me help," he said. Not as what I am. Just as someone who wants them to have more than this. Your money comes with strings, Marcus. It always does. No strings, I swear." She studied him for a long moment. "1 month," she finally said. "You can help for 1 month. But the moment I think you're pulling them into your world, the moment I see danger, you'll disappear again." "Exactly." He nodded. 1 month. It was a start. That night, Marcus returned to his penthouse and made 2 phone calls. The first was to Vincent. "I need a security detail, invisible, 3-block radius around this address." He rattled off Lena's location. "No contact unless there's a direct threat. Understood?" "Understood, boss." The second call was to a real estate agent he kept on retainer. "I need an apartment. Safe neighborhood. 3 bedrooms. Kid-friendly. Available immediately." "Budget?" "Irrelevant. Find it." By midnight, he had options. By dawn, he'd chosen one. A renovated unit in a quiet building with a park nearby, and a security system that could rival a government facility. He didn't tell Lena yet. 1 step at a time. Because for the first time in 6 years, Marcus Kane wasn't planning a takeover or a power play. He was planning a future. And it terrified him more than any war ever had. The next 2 weeks fell into an uneasy rhythm. Marcus visited every morning, always bringing something: groceries, toys, books. He learned that Elijah loved dinosaurs, and Isaiah was obsessed with space. He learned that they both had Lena's laugh and his stubborn refusal to quit. He learned how to read bedtime stories without sounding like he was issuing orders. And slowly, impossibly, he learned what it felt like to be wanted for something other than fear. "Again," Isaiah demanded one afternoon, bouncing on the worn mattress as Marcus finished a book about astronauts. You've heard this one 3 times already, Marcus said, but he was smiling. So? It's good. Elijah climbed onto Marcus's lap without hesitation. Do the voice again. The alien voice. Marcus glanced at Lena, who was watching from the doorway with an expression he couldn't quite read. She didn't smile, but she didn't tell him to leave either. Progress. All right, Marcus said, reopening the book, but this is the last time.
Before you continue, you have 2 choices right now. Keep listening to short previews, or unlock the full story. You get 20 full episodes, exclusive audio, no ads, no interruptions. Listen anytime, anywhere. I scan the QR code on the screen now. Or click the pinned link in the comments. What was never said continues there.
Your mom's going to kick me out if you don't eat lunch. Mama won't kick you out, Elijah said matter-of-factly. She likes you. Lena nearly dropped the plate she was holding. Elijah. She does. She smiles when you come over. She doesn't smile a lot anymore. Marcus's heart stuttered. Lena's face flushed. Lunch. Now. Both of you. The twins scrambled off the mattress, chattering about spaceships and aliens, leaving Marcus alone with Lena in the cramped space. They're getting attached, she said quietly. Is that so terrible? It is when you leave. Who says I'm leaving? Lena set the plate down with more force than necessary. Marcus, this isn't sustainable. You know that. Why not? Because you have a life, an empire. Responsibilities that don't include reading bedtime stories and playing dinosaurs. Maybe I want those responsibilities. She laughed, sharp, disbelieving. For how long? A month? 6 months? Until the novelty wears off and you remember who you really are? You think this is novelty? His voice rose. You think I'm playing house? Aren't you? Marcus stood. I have spent every day for 2 weeks learning how to be what they need. I'm trying, Lena. Isn't that worth something? Trying isn't enough when their safety is at stake. They're safer with me protecting them than what? Living in poverty? Her eyes flashed. At least poverty doesn't come with enemies who'd use children as leverage. The truth of it hit him like a fist, because she was right. In his world, family was weakness. Love was a target painted on your back. I can protect them, he said, but even he could hear the doubt creeping in. From everyone? All the time? Forever? If that's what it takes, you can't promise that. Watch me. They stood toe-to-toe now, the air between them crackling with 6 years of unspoken words and unresolved feelings. I never stopped, Marcus started. Don't. Lena's voice cracked. Don't say it. Don't make this harder than it already is. Harder than living in a place with mold in the walls and no heat? Harder than stealing food? Yes! The word burst out of her. Because I can survive poverty, Marcus. I can survive struggling. But I can't survive loving you again and then watching you choose your empire over us. I already did that once. I won't do it again. The confession hung in the air. Marcus reached for her. She didn't pull away. I didn't choose the empire over you, he said softly. I didn't know there was a choice to make. There's always a choice. Then let me make the right one this time. Her eyes searched his face. You don't know how. Teach me. For a moment, just a heartbeat, he thought she might. Then the apartment door burst open. Vincent stood there, suit disheveled, blood on his collar. Boss, we have a problem. Marcus's entire body went rigid. Not here. It can't wait. Lena stepped back, her face draining of color. And just like that, the illusion shattered. Mama? Elijah appeared in the bedroom doorway, eyes wide. What's happening? Marcus turned to Vincent, voice dropping to a lethal whisper. Outside. Now. In the hallway, Vincent spoke quickly. Castellano's crew hit one of our shipments. 3 men dead. They're sending a message. Marcus's mind raced. Castellano, a rival family, ambitious and reckless. They'd been testing boundaries for months. Lock down the warehouses. Double security. I want a meeting with our captains in 1 hour. Boss, they're demanding a sit-down. Tonight. Then we'll give them one. Vincent hesitated. They know about this place. Every cell in Marcus's body went cold. What? They've been watching you. They know about the woman and the kids. Time stopped, then restarted with brutal clarity. Marcus grabbed Vincent by the collar. You brought them here. You led them straight to— I was careful, boss. I swear. But if they're digging, get 4 men here, now. No one gets within 2 blocks of this building. Already done. Marcus released him, mind churning through scenarios and contingencies. Behind him, the apartment door opened. Lena stood there, twins clinging to her legs, her face pale, but her voice steady. Get out! Lena, get out. I can explain. You just proved everything I said. Your world followed you here, and now my sons are in danger because of it. I'll fix this. You can't fix what you are, Marcus. Tears streamed down her face. Please, go. Elijah was crying. Isaiah looked terrified. Marcus looked at his sons, really looked at them, and saw the fear he'd spent 6 years trying to avoid becoming. He was the monster in their story. I'm sorry, he whispered. Then he turned and walked away. Because sometimes loving someone means knowing when you're the danger they need protection from. 3 days. Marcus gave Lena 3 days of silence. 3 days where he didn't show up at her door, didn't call, didn't send money or gifts or explanations. 3 days where invisible guards watched her building from rooftops and alleyways, reporting every movement, every visitor, every potential threat. 3 days where he dismantled Castellano's operations piece by piece, cutting supply lines, turning allies, freezing assets. Surgical precision, no bodies, no headlines, just power, wielded like a scalpel. By the 4th day, Castellano requested a meeting. Marcus granted it. The sit-down happened in neutral territory, an abandoned warehouse on the docks, chosen because neither family could claim advantage. Marcus arrived with Vincent and 2 others. Castellano brought twice as many. Posturing, always posturing. Cain. Castellano was in his 50s, gray-haired and sharp-eyed, a man who'd built his empire on calculated brutality. You've been busy. Marcus didn't sit. You threatened my family. I responded. Family? Castellano smiled. You mean the woman and her bastards living in squalor? That family? Vincent's hand moved toward his jacket. Marcus stopped him with a glance. Choose your next words carefully, Marcus said, his voice soft as silk and twice as dangerous. Castellano leaned back. I'm simply stating facts. You've gone soft, Cain. 6 years building an empire, and 1 woman reduces you to a lovesick fool sneaking around tenements. Is there a point to this? The point is leverage. Castellano gestured lazily. You want to play house? Fine. But it comes with a price. Name it. The Port Authority contracts, the shipment routes through Brooklyn, and 20% of your import profits for the next 5 years. The demand was outrageous, designed to humiliate. Vincent inhaled sharply. The others shifted, waiting for Marcus's signal. Marcus smiled. It wasn't a pleasant expression. Counterproposal, he said. You leave the city, tonight. You take your crew, your assets, your ambitions, and you disappear. In exchange, I let you live. Castellano laughed. You think you're in a position to— I froze your accounts. All of them. Your shipments are sitting in impound under federal investigation. Anonymous tip, very detailed. Your suppliers won't return your calls because I bought their loyalty. Your captains are meeting with my people as we speak, negotiating new employment. Marcus stepped closer. You have nothing left but the air in your lungs. And I'm offering you the choice to keep breathing it. The color drained from Castellano's face. You're bluffing. Marcus pulled out his phone, turned it around. Bank statements, seizure notices, photographs of Castellano's own men shaking hands with Vincent's lieutenants. I don't bluff, Marcus said quietly. I dismantle, systematically. Completely. And right now, you're 1 phone call away from federal charges that will put you away for 20 years. Silence fell like a hammer. Castellano's men looked at each other, uncertainty rippling through their ranks. You can't. I already did. Marcus pocketed his phone. The Port Authority is mine. Brooklyn is mine. This city is mine. And you. He leaned in, voice dropping to a whisper only Castellano could hear. You made the mistake of thinking my family was a weakness. It's not. It's the only thing in this world that makes me truly dangerous. Because now I have something worth protecting, and I will burn everything you've ever built to keep them safe. Castellano's jaw worked. His hand trembled. 24 hours, Marcus said, straightening. Then I stopped being merciful. He turned and walked away. Vincent and the others followed, leaving Castellano sitting in the ruins of his empire. Marcus went straight to Lena's apartment. It was past midnight. The hallway lights flickered. Somewhere down the hall, a baby cried. He knocked softly. No answer. He knocked again, heart beginning to race. The door opened a crack. Lena's face appeared, exhausted and wary. It's late. It's handled. She blinked. What? The threat. Castellano, it's handled. He's leaving the city. Lena stared at him. Just like that? Just like that. I don't understand. Marcus hesitated. You don't want to understand. Trust me. That's the problem, Marcus. I don't know if I can. Before he could respond, a small voice called from inside. Mama? Is it Marcus? Lena closed her eyes. They've been asking about you. Can I see them? It's midnight. I know, I need to see them. Something in his voice made her step aside. The twins were supposed to be asleep, but both were sitting up on the mattress, eyes bright in the dim light. You came back! Elijah scrambled over, launching himself at Marcus's legs. The impact nearly knocked him over. Marcus crouched down, catching the boy in a hug that felt like the only real thing he'd done in days. Of course I came back. Mama said you might not. Isaiah joined them, smaller, more hesitant. She said sometimes grown-ups have to go away. Marcus looked up at Lena. Her expression was carefully neutral. I'm not going away, Marcus said, meeting her eyes over the twins' heads. Not unless you make me. Why did you leave before? Elijah asked. Because I made a mistake. I brought something dangerous too close to you, and I needed to fix it. Did you fix it? Yes. Forever. Marcus paused, because he couldn't promise forever. Couldn't promise that his world wouldn't find them again, but he could promise to fight. I'm going to try, he said honestly. Every single day, I'm going to try to keep you safe. Isaiah studied him with those two wise eyes. Are you a bad man like on TV? The question hit harder than any accusation. Lena tensed. Marcus considered lying. Considered softening the truth. But they deserved better than lies. I'm complicated, he said carefully. I've done things I'm not proud of, but I'm trying to be better. Because of you two, and your mom. Do you love Mama? Elijah asked, with the devastating directness of children. Elijah! Lena gasped. You can't just... Yes, Marcus said. The word hung in the air. Lena's breath caught. I never stopped, Marcus continued, still looking at Lena. Even when I should have. Even when it would have been easier. I never stopped. Then why did you leave? Isaiah asked. Because I thought she deserved better than what I could give her. That's dumb, Elijah declared. Despite everything, Marcus laughed. Yeah, kid. It really was. Lena was crying, silent tears streaming down her face, one hand pressed to her mouth. Mama's sad again, Isaiah whispered. No, baby. Lena wiped her eyes, voice shaking. Mama's feeling a lot right now. Marcus stood slowly. I should go. Let you all get some sleep. Can you read us a story first? Elijah asked. It's too late, Lena started. Please. Both twins chorused. She looked at Marcus. He looked back. One story? She finally said. Then sleep. I mean it. Marcus read them 3 stories. By the time he finished, both boys were asleep, curled together on the mattress like puppies seeking warmth. He pulled the thin blanket over them, his hands shaking slightly. His sons. He had sons, and they'd asked if he loved their mother. In the main room, Lena was making tea, chamomile in chipped mugs, the steam curling in the cold air. "You meant it," she said. Not a question. Every word. "Marcus, I can't—" "I know." He accepted the mug she offered. "I know you can't trust me. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But I'm not asking you to. I'm just asking you to let me prove it." "Prove what?" "That I can be what they need. What you need." Lena sat down on the worn couch, drawing her knees to her chest. "You eliminated a threat in 3 days. You have that kind of power, and you think I'll just forget what that means?" "I'm not asking you to forget. I'm asking you to see why I used it. Violence for a good cause is still violence. I didn't hurt anyone." The lie tasted bitter. "I just redistributed power." "Don't lie to me, please. I can handle the truth. I can't handle being treated like I'm naive." Marcus set the mug down. "You're right. I destroyed a man's life tonight. Took everything from him. And I'd do it again without hesitation if it meant keeping you three safe. That's who I am. I know who you are. Then why does it feel like you're looking for reasons to push me away?" "Because," her voice cracked, "because 6 years ago, I loved you so much I couldn't breathe when you weren't there. And when I found out I was pregnant, I had to choose. Raise our children in your world, or leave and give them a chance at normal. I chose normal. I chose poverty and struggle and fear because at least it was clean. At least they wouldn't grow up thinking that power solves everything. Lena. But now you're here, and they're falling in love with you, and I'm terrified. Because what happens when you have to choose? When it's them or your empire? When being their father means giving up being a king? I choose them, every time I choose them. You say that now, but you haven't been tested, not really." Marcus moved to sit beside her, close but not touching. "Then test me," he said quietly. "Whatever it takes, test me. Let me prove it." Lena turned to look at him, and for the first time since he'd walked back into her life, he saw something other than fear in her eyes. Hope. Fragile and terrifying and real. "The boys need stability," she whispered. "They need to know you're not going to disappear again." "I won't. They need a real home, not this place. I have one. 3 bedrooms. Safe neighborhood. It's been sitting empty for 2 weeks waiting for you to say yes." Her eyes widened. "You bought an apartment?" "I bought you a home. Marcus, I can't accept— It's not for you. It's for them. For Elijah and Isaiah. So they can have their own room and heat that works and windows that aren't broken." He paused. "And if you happen to live there too, keeping them safe and happy, then that's just practical." Despite everything, she almost smiled. "You're manipulative. I'm resourceful. It's the same thing. Semantics." The silence that fell was different this time. Softer. Less like a battlefield and more like a breath. "One condition," Lena finally said. "Anything. You teach them that there's more to strength than power. That kindness isn't weakness. That choosing peace doesn't make you less of a man." Marcus felt something tight in his chest loosen. "I don't know if I know how to do that." "Then we'll figure it out together. Together." The word felt like a promise. Like a second chance he didn't deserve but would fight to keep. "Okay," he whispered. "Okay? Yeah. Together." Lena's hand found his in the darkness. Neither of them spoke. They didn't need to. Because for the first time in 6 years, the silence between them felt like home. The next morning, Marcus hired movers. By noon, Lena and the twins were standing in their new apartment. Sunlight streaming through clean windows, hardwood floors gleaming, 2 small bedrooms painted in soft blues and greens. "This is ours?" Isaiah breathed. "This is yours," Marcus confirmed. Elijah ran from room to room, shouting about space and closets and, "Mama, we have a real kitchen." Lena stood in the center of the living room, tears streaming freely now. "It's too much. It's not enough. Marcus." He pulled her close. She didn't resist. "Let me do this," he whispered against her hair. "Let me give them what I couldn't give you 6 years ago. Please." She nodded against his chest, and for a moment, the world was quiet. No threats, no empire, no past. Just a man, a woman, and 2 boys who finally had a place to call home. But in the shadows of the city, in places Marcus couldn't see and couldn't control, wheels were already turning. Castellano had left, but he'd left whispers behind. Whispers about Marcus Kane's weakness, about the woman and children who'd made the most dangerous man in the city vulnerable. And in the darkness, others were listening, planning, waiting. Because in their world, love wasn't a strength. It was a target. 6 months passed. 6 months of morning routines and bedtime stories. Of teaching Elijah his ABCs and watching Isaiah build impossible towers from blocks. Of parent-teacher conferences and scraped knees and laughter that filled the apartment like light. 6 months of falling in love with a life Marcus never knew he wanted. He'd restructured his operations, delegating more, appearing less, building systems that ran without his constant presence. Vincent managed the day-to-day. Marcus handled strategy from home, his home office doubling as a place where serious men discussed serious business, while cartoon theme songs played in the next room. It was bizarre, impossible, perfect. "Daddy, watch!" Elijah dangled from the monkey bars at the park, grinning wildly. "Daddy." The word still made Marcus's heart stutter. "I see you, buddy. Be careful." "Careful is boring." Elijah dropped, rolled, and popped back up unharmed. "Right, Mama?" Lena sat on the bench beside Marcus, their fingers intertwined. "Careful keeps you alive, baby." "But boring." "Alive is better than exciting," Marcus called. Isaiah looked up from his sandcastle. "You do exciting things, Daddy. Mama says you used to be really exciting before us." Marcus and Lena exchanged glances. "Different kind of exciting," Marcus said carefully. "Bad exciting?" "Complicated exciting." "That means bad," Isaiah said wisely, returning to his castle. "Kids, too smart for their own good." Lena squeezed his hand. "They're going to ask questions eventually." "I know. Real questions about what you do, what you did." "I know. And we're going to have to give them real answers." Marcus watched his sons play, fearless, innocent, untouched by the darkness that had defined his entire adult life. "I want to be worthy of them," he said quietly. "And I'm not." "Not yet. Then become worthy." He looked at her. "How?" "By choosing differently. Every single day, choose them over the Empire." "I have been." "Have you? Really?" Before he could answer, his phone buzzed. "Vincent, emergency. Need you downtown. Now." Marcus stared at the message. Lena felt him tense. "What is it?" "Work. Can it wait?" He looked at his sons, at the woman beside him, at the life he'd built in stolen moments between crisis management and power plays. "Yeah?" he said, silencing the phone. "It can wait." Lena's eyes widened. Marcus Kane just ignored a work call. "Someone alert the media." "Shut up," he said, but he was smiling. She kissed him, soft and quick, tasting like coffee and possibility. "I'm proud of you," she whispered. And God, if that didn't feel better than any empire. The call couldn't wait. Marcus found that out 3 hours later when Vincent showed up at the apartment, face grim. "Boss, we need to talk." "Not here. It can't wait." Marcus glanced at the bedroom where Lena was helping the twins with homework. Outside. Now. In the hallway, Vincent spoke quickly. "Santiago family. They're making moves on the waterfront. Let them. We have other territories. They're claiming you've gone soft, that you're distracted." "I don't care what they claim." "Boss, they hit 3 of our locations tonight, burned them, left a message." Marcus went very still. "What message?" Vincent pulled out his phone, showed him a photo. A building engulfed in flames, spray painted on the wall beside it. "Family man bleeds easy." Ice flooded Marcus's veins. "Casualties?" None. They hit after hours. This was a warning. They're coming for me. Yeah, and they know about... Vincent gestured toward the apartment. Marcus's mind raced. Santiago was ambitious, ruthless, and smart. If they'd done their homework, they knew exactly where to strike to hurt him most. Triple security. I want eyes on this building, the school, the park, everywhere they go. Already done. It's not enough. What do you want me to do, boss? We can hit back, send our own message. No. The word came out sharper than intended. No escalation. Not yet. Vincent stared. They burned our locations. They threatened your family. And you want to do nothing? I want to think. Thinking gets people killed. So does reacting. Marcus ran a hand through his hair. I need 12 hours. Boss, 12 hours, Vincent. That's all I'm asking. Vincent hesitated, then nodded. Your call. After he left, Marcus stood in the hallway for a long moment. Behind the door, he could hear Lena laughing at something one of the twins said. Heard their small voices asking questions, heard her patient answers. Peace. He could walk away. Disappear with them. Use his resources to vanish so completely that Santiago would never find them. But empires didn't let kings retire, and enemies didn't forget. That night, after the twins were asleep, Marcus told Lena everything. She listened in silence, her face growing paler with each word. When he finished, she stood and walked to the window, staring out at the city lights. This is what I was afraid of, she said finally. I know. You can't protect us from your whole world, Marcus. I can try. Trying isn't enough. She whirled to face him. What happens when they get smarter? When security isn't enough? When they take one of the boys to get to you? The scenario made him physically ill. I won't let that happen. You can't promise that. Then what do you want me to do? His voice rose. Walk away? Give up everything I've built? Yes! The word exploded from her. Yes, Marcus. Give it up. All of it. Choose us over the Empire. Actually, choose us. It's not that simple. It is exactly that simple. You're just too proud to admit it. If I walk away, they'll see it as weakness. They'll come after me anyway. Then we run. We disappear. You said you could do that. For how long? Forever? You want our sons to grow up in hiding? I want them to grow up alive. The words hung between them like a chasm. Marcus closed his eyes. I don't know how to be anything but this. Then learn. Lena's voice broke. Because I can't watch you choose power over us. I already lived that nightmare once. I'm not choosing power. I'm trying to protect you. By staying in the world that threatens us? She laughed bitterly. That's not protection, Marcus. That's ego. It's survival. No, survival is getting out before it's too late. Silence fell, heavy and suffocating. From the bedroom, one of the twins called out in his sleep, a small, wordless sound. Both parents turned toward it instinctively. I'll handle Santiago, Marcus said quietly. I'll end this, and then what? Another threat appears? Another enemy? When does it stop? I don't know. That's not good enough. It's all I have. Lena wiped her eyes. I'm taking the boys to my sister's, in Oregon, for a few weeks. You're leaving? I'm keeping them safe while you figure out if you're willing to actually change. Lena, I love you, Marcus. God help me, I never stopped. But love isn't enough if it means watching our sons live in danger because you can't let go of being king. The words shattered something in his chest. Don't go. Give me a reason to stay. He had none. Nothing that wouldn't sound like a promise he couldn't keep. She nodded, as if his silence confirmed everything. We leave tomorrow, she whispered. Use the time to decide who you want to be. The Empire, or us. Then she walked into the bedroom and closed the door. Marcus stood alone in the living room, surrounded by toys and family photos, and the life he'd fought so hard to build. And realized he was losing it anyway. The next morning, Marcus watched from the window as Lena packed the car. 2 suitcases, backpacks filled with toys. The twins confused but excited about visiting Aunt Sarah, unaware that their mother was running from ghosts. Elijah waved up at the window. "Bye, Daddy. We'll be back soon." Marcus raised his hand, throat too tight to speak. Lena didn't look up. The car pulled away. Marcus stood there long after it disappeared, his reflection staring back at him from the glass. A man caught between 2 worlds, belonging fully to neither. His phone rang. Vincent. "Santiago wants a meeting, tonight. Says he's willing to negotiate terms." "Terms for what?" "Your exit. He wants you out of the business entirely. In exchange, he guarantees safety for your family." Marcus laughed, cold and empty. "He threatens them, then offers protection? That's not negotiation. That's extortion. What do you want to do?" Marcus looked around the empty apartment, saw the scattered toys, the homework left on the table, the photos on the wall, his son's first day of school, Lena laughing in the park, all of them together building that impossible sandcastle. A life. He had a life now. "Set the meeting," Marcus said. "Neutral ground. I'll be there." "Boss, I'm ending this. Tonight." The meeting was at the old shipping yard. Abandoned, desolate, perfect for men who lived in shadows. Santiago arrived with a small army. Marcus came alone. "Brave or stupid?" Santiago called out. He was younger than Marcus, maybe 40, with the hungry eyes of a man who'd tasted power and wanted more. "You show up alone to face me?" "I'm not here to fight." "No? Then why are you here?" Marcus stepped into the light. "To offer you everything." Santiago blinked. "What?" "The territories, the operations, the contacts, the routes, the infrastructure. I'm walking away, and you can have it all." Stunned silence. "You're serious," Santiago said slowly. "Completely." "Why?" "Because I have something worth more than all of this." Marcus met his eyes. "And you're standing between me and it." Santiago studied him. "The woman and the kids. My family, yes. You'd give up your empire for them?" Without hesitation. Santiago laughed, genuinely surprised. Marcus Kane, the king of the underworld, brought down by love. Didn't see that coming. Neither did I. And if I refuse? If I take the territories and come for them anyway? Marcus's expression didn't change. "Then you'll learn why they call me the most dangerous man in this city, because right now, I'm offering you peace. But if you threaten them again, I won't build an empire to destroy you. I'll become something worse, something with nothing left to lose." The promise hung in the air like smoke. Santiago considered. "You're really walking away." "I'm really walking away." "And your people? Vincent? The others?" "Will follow their own paths. I'm releasing them from loyalty. They can work with you, start fresh, or retire. Their choice. This is unprecedented. This is necessary." Santiago extended his hand. "Then we have a deal, Kane. You disappear, completely, and your family stays safe." Marcus shook it. The grip was firm, binding. "One question," Santiago said. "Was it worth it? Building all this, only to walk away?" Marcus thought of Elijah's laugh, Isaiah's questions, Lena's hand in his. "I built the wrong empire," he said quietly. "This is me starting over." It took 3 weeks to dismantle everything he'd built. Territories transferred, assets liquidated, alliances dissolved. Marcus Kane, the name that had commanded fear and respect, became a ghost story, a warning about the price of going soft. He didn't care. Vincent came by on the last day looking lost. "So that's it? You're really done?" "I'm really done." "What am I supposed to do now?" Marcus smiled. "Anything you want. You're free, Vincent. For the first time in your life, you're actually free. I don't know how to be free. Neither do I, but I'm going to learn." They shook hands. No dramatics, no long goodbyes, just 2 men who'd walked through fire together, now choosing different paths. After Vincent left, Marcus sat in the empty office one last time. His phone buzzed. Lena, we're ready to come home. If there's still a home to come back to. Marcus typed with shaking hands. There is, and I'm never leaving it again. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Lena, promise? Marcus, I swear on everything I am and everything I want to be. I choose you. I choose them. I choose us. Lena, we'll be there tomorrow. Marcus set the phone down and let out a breath he'd been holding for 6 years. The airport was crowded, chaotic, alive with the energy of people arriving and leaving and searching for connection. Marcus waited at arrivals, hands in his pockets, heart hammering. Then he saw them. Lena first, beautiful, exhausted, cautiously hopeful. Then the twins who spotted him and started running. Daddy! He dropped to his knees and caught them both, holding on like they might disappear if he let go. We missed you, Elijah said into his shoulder. We brought you a rock, Isaiah added. From Oregon. It's really cool. Marcus laughed through unexpected tears. I can't wait to see it. Lena approached slowly. He stood, twins still clinging to him, and met her eyes. You did it, she said. Vincent called me, told me everything. I did it for us. I know. She touched his face. Now what? Now we build something new, something that doesn't require looking over our shoulders. You really think it's over? I think we get to find out. She kissed him then, slow and deep and full of 6 years of longing and loss and second chances. When they pulled apart, both twins were making exaggerated gagging sounds. Gross, Elijah declared. So gross, Isaiah agreed. Marcus grinned. Get used to it, kids. I've got 6 years of gross to make up for. Lena laughed. Real, bright, unguarded. And for the first time, Marcus felt like he was exactly where he belonged. They drove home in comfortable chaos, twins arguing about rocks, Lena's hand on his knee, the radio playing something soft and forgettable. Normal. This was normal. Marcus pulled into the parking garage of their building, and the twins scrambled out, racing for the elevator. Last one up is a rotten egg. Lena hung back, watching them with soft eyes. Thank you, she said quietly. For what? For choosing us. Best decision I ever made. They followed the twins inside, and Marcus allowed himself to believe that maybe, just maybe, the past was finally behind them. But in a dark office across the city, a phone rang. A man answered. Sir, I'm calling about the Kane situation. What about it? He's out, completely, gave everything to Santiago and walked away. Silence. Then, Marcus Kane doesn't walk away from power. He's planning something. Our intel says otherwise. He's playing family man now, living quiet. Then he's vulnerable. Sir, Marcus Kane ruled this city through fear and strategy. Now he's soft, exposed. And that creates opportunity. What do you want us to do? And the man smiled in the darkness. Nothing. Yet. Let him think he's won. Let him get comfortable in his little domestic dream. A pause. Then we remind him that men like us don't get happy endings. And the family? Especially the family. The line went dead. Marcus never saw the man watching from across the street as they entered the building. Never noticed the camera focused on their windows. Never heard the whispered conversations in rooms he no longer had access to. He was too busy being happy. Too busy living the life he'd fought for. Too busy being the father and partner he'd always wanted to be. And for 6 beautiful months, it was enough. 6 months later, Marcus was making pancakes when his phone rang. Unknown number. He almost didn't answer. But something, instinct maybe, or the muscle memory of a life lived in danger, made him pick up. Hello. Heavy breathing. Then a voice he didn't recognize. Marcus Kane. His blood ran cold. Who is this? Someone who knows what you gave up. Someone who knows what you have to lose. If this is a threat, not a threat, a promise. The voice was calm, almost pleasant. You thought you could walk away. Build a new life. Play pretend with your little family. But men like you don't get redemption. They get reminders. Who is this? Turn on the news, Marcus. Channel 7. The line went dead. Marcus's hands shook as he grabbed the remote. Channel 7. Morning news. A reporter standing outside a burning building. Second fire this week targeting properties formerly owned by Marcus Kane. Police are investigating whether this is connected to the underground power shift 6 months ago. The building on screen was familiar. Too familiar. It was the community center 3 blocks from the twins' school. The place where Lena volunteered on Thursdays. The place they'd been yesterday afternoon. Marcus's phone buzzed. A text from the same unknown number. We know where they go. We know when they're vulnerable. You took something from powerful people, Marcus. Now we're taking it back. Slowly. Painfully. Starting with everything you love. Another text. A photo. The boys. At the park.